Hello everybody, this is Japhet from the Art of Trading. Welcome back to another video. It's a Monday, first video of the week, and today we're going to analyze our trending stocks objectively as always, and we are going to be seeing where price action takes us. So before we get onto that, don't forget to check the description below for my socials to see where you can reach out to me. And yeah, so let's get right onto the video, but first let's look at our index in PSEI. So up first we have our index right here, where we saw a uptrend line holding up before prior to this week, but today it definitely did push on the downside really hard with a close of negative 176 points or negative 2.62%, closing in at 65.50 range. So we were looking at that to be holding as our support level. I think I might as well just adjust this now, since we are going to be looking at this trend or at this support area quite a lot soon. So I think it's going to be at 65 to about 6600. Hopefully this will become our support, but I don't personally think it will be because of this downtrend bias. And this huge move on the downside confirms that, you know, these support areas that we have put up are now going to be resistances. So that's a lot of walls to break through if the market wants to bounce back up right now. And we have news of curfews as well, so that could be hindering some of the sectors that we have for our index. But for now, we do see this huge move on the downside price action wise, and we see all of our stocks in red for today. So first up we have Dito, which closed at 9.85. so it's right on this support level right here, our 10 peso to 10.9 levels. It's right on there, but now we have this gap holding as a resistance. So let me just take this out right here, and let me put this. Okay, why is my thing like that? Pardon that. But now we have this gap. We have this gap holding as resistance right now, which is around 11.38 to 12 pesos. So let's change that. 11.38 to 12 pesos. That is now our resistance. We have this gap holding in as resistance, and hopefully we have this support level to hold up as well. So that's a huge call to make, but hopefully this range holds up. But with the situation that we have in the market, it might just continue going down even further. But let's see what happens with this 8.4 to 9 peso level that we had tested last week, I believe. So 8.4 to 9 peso level. Let's see if this becomes the area of support that we could be looking at. It could be, it could be aligning with this resistance right here that it had to break before this massive uptrend. So definitely an area where it could bounce from, which it did a couple days ago last week. But this could be now the new range that it wants to go sideways at, if it does hold up and not just continuously go down and pierce below our support zone. So if it does just play out right here and go sideways, that would be the best case scenario, the best situation for this one. So let's move to our next one in PHA. Excuse me. So PHA, this is a hard no right now. It's really trying to pierce through below this uptrend line. Whatever trend line you're trying to look at, this is all in danger of being pierced below. So let me just remove that uptrend line Resistances are definitely holding up. This support level did not hold up as support, as it pierced again in the last 5 days. So pierced it 3 times in the last 5 days. That is not a good sign. So we could be looking at a retest of this gap and support. So this gap right here acting as potentially a future support. We could be looking at it, this range at 1.64 to 1.79. So 1.64 to 1.79 is an interesting zone for us to, you know, maybe catch this, but this is still very dangerous to catch as it has a bias on the downtrend. So if I were you, to be more safe, to be more conservative on this, wait for a hard bounce on this one or on a support level before coming in. But yeah, we still have this downtrend line holding as resistance. We have this now holding as resistance, this support level holding as resistances. So most of our movements now are on the downside. So the market is really not on a good state right now. So if you want to be more conservative with your moves, wait for the whole market to calm down for a little bit before getting into this one. But if you trade those quick bounces, why not trade those? But for me, it's a risky move, and if you're on the more conservative side of trading like I am, it would be tough to catch these quick bounce plays, but that could be something that you could look at. But yeah, watching these zones right now to hold up and potentially be an area of interest for people to, you know, stop the bleeding and have their entries right around this zone. Cut loss points right below it. So yeah, let's move on to our next one with ASEN, which is also, I think, yeah, going back down to retest our support area right here potentially. Right now the resistance is at 7.2, so this range right here, and we could be looking for this support to hold up if it does want to hold up. But if it doesn't, that's not a good look for us. So 6.39 to 6.55 is the support zone that it's looking to retest. So it's an immediate 6.55. So this is like an immediate zone that we're watching. If it does break below that, which it just might, because, you know, it's still holding this downtrend, plus the market is not in a good place right now as a whole. So this could still be just rejected right here, or maybe right when it touches 6.7 once again. But as I've said, if you want to do those bounce plays, it could be an interesting play if it does bounce right here or right there, as our resistances are still holding up. But hopefully the market settles down and finally find a level of support and for it. So let's see what happens for this one. But definitely the bias is on the downtrend still, and our resistances still holding up. So up next we have APL, also moving on the downside, which is still kind of undecided, but it did a massive dump with a low of 1748. So all of our stocks were going down. ASEN closing in at 6.77. PHA was at 2.10, and DTO was at 9.85. So this one is on close at 18.80, or negative 7.39%, and the bias is still on the downtrend, as it could still be a resistance even if it does bounce up. But with this one closing in and having in at a low of 1750, so that's quite far. It really does want to retest our 17.17 level right there. So hopefully it you know, it holds up as a support. But with what's happening in the market, Once again, we could potentially see piercings of these support zones, but definitely watching the 17 peso level. So yeah, just be patient on your trades as we move on to our next stock, which is massive move on the downside. Not something advisable right now to be buying into, as we see a Pierce as well, closing in at 4.54 or negative 12%. Wow, massive moves for our trending stocks today. Wow, we have come a long way. So our uptrend definitely ended, sideways did not hold up, and now it's deciding to go down. So we are now on a downtrend, I think, confirmed, as well with our PSEI confirmed downtrend right now, fueled by the curfews as well. So tough for our market, tough for the stocks in general. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happened on this one. So definitely have a resistance now at this price point right here at about 5.3. We did have a close of 4.39, so that's, I mean, a low of 4.39, so that's definitely appears. And yeah, as I've said, bias is still on the downtrend, but the overextension would probably allow it to bounce a little bit after it consolidates right here. So if it does consolidate there, maybe hit this downtrend line, and then yeah, let's see what happens then. But for now, definitely dangerous to be holding this stock as well as the other stocks as well. So kind of dangerous to be holding on to anything right now. So let's move to BSC, where we see it pierce as well. So this support zone did not hold up, sadly. And yeah, the bias is still on the downtrend as with the other stocks. That is a very sharp downtrend, and it does really want to touch the 0.51 to 0.70 gap. So if this holds up as support, we could maybe see a sideways movement. If not, tough. But with the current market situation, it's going to be hard for our stocks to be maintaining a push on the upside. But because everyone right now just want to get out of the market, stay liquid. But yes, at some point we will probably see it bounce, because it can't just keep going down forever, and some people will find value of this at some point. So let's move on to our next one with BHI. So BHI, BHI did, wow, okay, so it ranged for a bit and then had the support level, but it didn't retest that. It ranged, it broke out of this downtrend line. Wow, BHI doing well, but yeah, it hit a ceiling right here and got rejected. So now there's definitely gonna be a sideways movement right here that we can see. So we do have our resistance right there at around 0.09 or 0.09. I would consider that as a resistance, and now a support level right around here, as we see a lot of the candlesticks just settle around there, even with this piercing right below. And we have our resistance right here prior to that. So we could say that this is a good support zone for us. Yeah, like an immediate support zone for us, and it could be ranging from here. So 0.068. Let's see what it does. 0.068 to around what did I say this was? So 0.073, 0.073. So this could be a good range for us to watch it. Range on the side. So now since this rejection, it could now move sideways potentially. So this is a big range to consolidate at, but for now it's moving sideways definitely since the beginning of March. Yeah, it's kind of clear with this rejection on this side that there is a resistance right around that area, and we close at 0.085, so that's a positive 4%. Good for BHI, even with the negative foreign for the day with this. But yeah, this is just with the market situation, this could just be ranging on this area right here, so we shall see what it wants to do. So up next we have DD, Double Dragon Properties. Wow, okay, I see why it's trending because it's down 12%, negative 12%, closing in at 1254 and breaking this massive support zone at around this price point. So there was a support right there. There was definitely a support area that it broke right there at the 13.8 to 14.19. So that's a great support zone, and it finally pierced through. Everyone just let go of this stock, and we do see it weakening since last December. So yeah, I finally decided to push down below, and yeah, we continue on this bigger downtrend. Interesting case for Double Dragon. That is an interesting case. But yes, it was never able to move up a lot prior to that, so it definitely broke a long-term support zone at 13.8 to 14.19. So that's kind of sad. Wow, I'm hoping that this bounces a little bit. What this is gonna do is it's probably gonna bounce towards the resistance once again before maybe crashing down further. But yeah, definitely gonna see it pull back a little bit, maybe halfway, before seeing like a downward spiral on this one. So we shall see what it wants to do. But just as with break on the upside, this is a break on the downside, and we will definitely see a pullback on the downside right here. So I'm watching this bounce, but for now that's a lot. That's a huge candle on the downside. Definitely everyone's gonna be wanting to cut their losses for this one. Wow, that's a huge move. Up next we have DAVIN, which has just been going down, closing in at 3.05 pesos, or negative 12%. And yeah, downtrend still intact, and now it's piercing below. It looks like it wants to pierce right below our 3.10 support level. Sadly, it wants to go down even further as it broke or pierced through this long-term support zone at 3.1. So DAVIN, be careful with this one as well. And yeah, sorry to deliver that negative news on you guys for today, but yeah, if you have any other stock that you are concerned with, don't forget to reach out below on the comment section or on my Instagram's account. Don't forget to hit me there, shoot me a message there. But yeah, this is kind of a sad thing. Our market really pushing on the downside now. Lowest it's been in a long while. So since last October's rally on the upside, we've now completed the cycle of the uptrend, and then a sideways arranging movement, and then now we're entering into this downtrend. So yeah, wow, interesting movements for our market, and we are seeing it all develop. Yeah, right here. So we did have a push on the upside, a downtrend right here. Yeah, this was one of my favorite examples as well before, where we saw a downtrend right here, a sideways movement right here, and then there was an uptrend. So now it's on the reversal side, where after the downtrend we're going to be seeing this flat on the top with a range, and then a downward movement. So we're probably gonna end up having like a bigger range overall, but for now this uptrend from last year's crash of March is just ending. Wow, that is definitely an end. So I did retest that resistance. Wow, why did I never draw this before? So yeah, so we had a range sideways movement right here. We had the uptrend hopefully holding up, but it didn't. Now it acted as a resistance. That's why we see a rejection right there, and then continued its way moving on the downside. So now we have a resistance right here, a massive resistance right here as well. Yeah, and this could just keep moving on it could just keep doing that for all we know. Yeah, I can't tell where it would stop, but it could retrace all of our progress from last October, or it might not. So I cannot predict where it will go, but please do be patient and vigilant with your trades. So yeah, that's it for me for today. What a Monday, what an opening for this week to set up the tone. We started on a bad tone, sadly, but yeah, I'm just here to remind you guys to stay patient with your trades, be disciplined, and strive to be consistent with your trading. Definitely execute your cut loss points if they're hit, respect them, and don't hold for too long, because we have a market that is very unpredictable and currently moving on the downside. So it's very volatile right now, especially with the news, external factors. And yeah, exercise your strategies and put them to test, and take notes of your learnings as well along the way.